Hi everyone, welcome to another video where we're starting in my bedroom and I have a dog here. She's not coming with us today, but she's being a nosy neighbour and looking out at my neighbours through the window. But basically for today's video, I'm just going to go do a little walkabout, sort of go towards a park, try and get some nature photography, but that's not going to be the main aim of the video. I basically wanted to try and do something not different per se. Well, yeah, it's different, but I feel like I've not talked enough. Come on. Come on. She's chatty. Come on. Money, I'm trying to do an intro. I'm trying to do a YouTube intro. Come lay down. Lay down. Let me let her out. We will continue this thought in just a moment. Okay, she's gone now. She left. Basically, what I wanted to do was sort of give you guys a little bit of an insight into what I love about photography and why I do it. I mean, why does anyone do any hobby? But specifically, what I like about photography, sort of my photography journey through school, like when I did my GCSEs and my A-levels, how I was about to say, I wouldn't say I hated it. I kind of did. Photography was not a very fun time for me in school, but that's something we will talk about. I just more wanted to give a little bit more insight for you guys as to what photography means to me, why I love it so much, how I sort of decided to start this photography journey on YouTube and everything else, really, why I wanted to do this and what I love about it. So I'm going to take you guys with me for a little walk. We're going to go to a park. As you can see, it's really nice and sunny today through some miracle. It's March and it feels like late spring, early summer, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, we're gonna go and I'm gonna do a lot of it as voiceovers to sort of explain why I love photography and how, in a way, it's sort of my therapy. Obviously nothing beats real therapy. If you need therapy, go to therapy. It's great to talk about things like that, but photography is a form of therapy for me. It's a way for me to sort of, you know, block out any problems I'm dealing with and just fully focus on something that I enjoy doing. So yeah, I think we can get started. I'm gonna grab all my kit, grab like my camera, obviously the tripod you're on, and some microphones, and we're gonna get going. All right, let's head out. I mean, first things first, this weather is incredible. I mean, the sun, are you kidding? As someone who, as I've said before, genuinely doesn't mind winter, I've been loving the sun. I probably hate it in a couple of days. Like by May, I'll be absolutely despising it and wishing for autumn again. But right now, I think it's pretty good. Anyway, I'm just walking my way down to the park. I'm in a little alleyway. If you saw my alphabet photography challenge, I did photograph this alleyway. And today we're walking down it. So that's a good bit of fun. But yeah, I'm basically just going to walk to a park that's like 10 minutes away from my house. We'll photograph things along the way. It'll be a good bit of fun. I'm about to pass the school, so we'll record on the other side because the kids are loud. Understandably, but yeah, okay. We'll catch up once I get to the other end. Here I was walking down the alleyway and I thought this would be a good opportunity to sort of start talking about my photography journey because I haven't prepared anything for this. I just sort of wanted to have it as like a casual one-sided chat, I suppose. But I mean, first of all, if anyone knows me about my photography, you'll know that my biggest inspiration is definitely my grandpa. My most recent video was a collaboration I did with him, but I've been doing photography with my grandpa for years. He helped me through my photography GCSE, through my photography A-level, and since he helped me start up this YouTube channel. And I mean, everything that I can credit myself in terms of my photography skills and things that I've learned, all the credit goes towards him because he's always been my biggest inspiration for photography. he's got a really good eye, and he's definitely taught me a lot about my camera. He gifted me the camera that I use. He gifted me the tripod I'm using. All of my camera equipment, it's pretty much from him. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't have made it through photography in school without his inspiration. Okay, we've made it to the other side of the alleyway, and the sun's brighter. It's definitely shining down today. And yeah, I'm just going to walk to the park. It's like I'm just walking along a couple of little houses first. But I basically, with this video, I'm not intending on sort of showcasing my actual photography that much. It's more the voiceover bits that are going to be important. As of right now, I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to say, but I'm also recording this a day before it has to be posted. I've delayed this video, but it's fine, we'll get it done on time. But yeah, I'm just going to walk to the main park bit, and that's when we'll start taking some photos, because on a beautiful day like this, I thought nature photography, it's one of my interests, it'll probably be best. So yeah, let's get to the actual park. This part was my actual walk to the park, but I wanted to use this time to talk a little bit more about my experience of studying photography in school, because I did it for my GCSEs and I did it for my A-levels, and I actually got an A in both of those, but oh my goodness did I not enjoy it. I basically had this teacher who, I'm not even sure he's aware I have this YouTube channel. Even if he does, I don't really care. He's aware of how much I didn't like his class. But oh my goodness, it was such a stifling environment studying photography, because I felt like I had no creative outlook, even though it was an artistic subject. The whole point of photography is that everyone has different eyes, and it's up to interpretation. People will find different things beautiful, and that's what I love about photography. But I found it so stifling having to confine this to the rules and regulations of school and what they expected out of us. And even though I put in as much effort as I physically could, it still caused me to have a real, almost hatred for photography, which was awful, because I loved having this creative outlook for myself, especially doing it with my grandpa. But going into that classroom environment used to genuinely fill me with dread some days. But we overcame it, and now I find photography to be my absolute favourite form of art, despite it. Alright, we've made it to the park. I am sort of standing, you can probably tell, between the shade and the sun, because I don't want to look the sun directly in the eye. That's going to annoy me. But anyway, I've got my camera out of my bag, and I'm starting with a clear SD card, as always, because I find it's really good to work with a blank slate every time I do a new shoot. This might not be like a good way for some people, but for me, I just find it's a better way to organise all my photos. So as soon as I take a shoot off my SD card, I always put it straight onto Google Drive. That's the shoot. Anyway, my main objective here is just to sort of take some really nice photos of the actual sort of scenery, because we've got some bushes, we've got obviously the grass. I mean, those trees over there, I don't know if you can see behind me very well. I mean, I've got cinematic on, but those trees there we go. Stand that up. Those trees are actually really perfect to take a nice wide landscape shot of, because they're all in a row. And while they don't exactly look very luscious and green, because it's still technically not spring yet, it's very early on in March, but I don't know. They haven't bloomed yet, is what I'm saying. So it's not very green and luscious, but I think we'll still be able to get some good shots from it. And yeah, I suppose we might as well just start. There's next to no one in this park. There's a couple dog walkers, and that's literally it. So I think it'd be pretty good just to sort of give myself this very wide canvas area for photography. And let's get started with a couple of pictures. The first thing that I wanted to take some photos of were these shadows that were on the ground that were created by the bushes and the trees. And as you can see, there I am sort of through the camera. It's a bit of a weird sort of triple
view because you got my phone recording the camera, and in the camera you can see me and the phone. Anyway, it's a bit of a trippy experience, but I was just taking a couple photos, and while doing so I wanted to talk a little bit more about what it actually is about photography that I love, because photography is one of those things that people can have complete freedom over what they choose to photograph. I don't like confining myself to one specific type of photography. I don't want to say, oh, I'm a nature photographer, or oh, I'm a street photographer. I want the freedom to choose to photograph so many different things, because there's a wide variety of things that I find really beautiful and things that I want to photograph. And so photography for me is a chance to really sort of look at the world through a lens in the way that I want to see it, in the way that I want to showcase it to everyone. So I think photography is just something that I like to use to freely express myself in that way. And here I had flipped the camera on my phone so that you guys would actually be able to see me taking the photos a bit. And I just sort of kept photographing the shadows and the ground there, as you can see. But this is the thing about photography. I will just snap photos of things that I see that I'm like, yeah, I really love that. As you probably saw there, I was just trying to take some photos of the shadows that were on the ground. And I was sort of struggling to decide which settings would be best, because I really wanted that stark contrast between, we'll see, all the brightness and then the shadows that were on the ground from the trees and the bushes. So I actually decided to see if my camera would do what I want it to do without me having to do anything. So I actually put it on auto for a couple of the photos, but I'm not sure I'm completely satisfied with how they've come out. So I'm going to go back into, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go into aperture priority and let the camera decide on the aperture, and then I can focus on the shutter speed. So let's do that and take a couple more shots of the shadows, and then we'll move on to something else, because I can't have the entire shoot just be about the shadows. It's a really loud siren. You can see it's an ambulance just over the fence over there. Okay, I've taken a couple more photos of the shadows, and I'm pretty happy with them, but I think it's another thing I might just have to do in like post editing. I might, you know, 'cause I use Affinity for all of my photo editing things on my laptop. So I might just, there's a setting where I can just adjust the brightness and contrast. I might just have the contrast be a little bit more stark on some of the shadow pictures. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how they're turning out. So let's focus on something else. I think I maybe want to try and go a little bit more close to some of the trees and focus on that. Okay, I've moved locations. We're just a little bit further down. I don't know if you can see, there's like a hill, a very slight hill, mind you, behind us. We were up there. I've dropped down now, because right in front of me are there's like a fence. I'll show you in a moment. And it's got some tree bark and, you know, little bushes, little trees, branches. And I thought I'm going to try and photograph those. The only thing is they're pretty much directly in the shadows. So we're going to need to adjust some settings here. But I'm pretty confident that it will still look good. So I'm going to do that and take you back to voiceover Georgia. We're back. Okay, I wanted to sort of step away from what I was photographing in the moment and go back to how I sort of fell in love with photography again. Because as I said before, photography in school was so difficult for me that I actually ended up developing really bad anxiety around even just going into the classroom. Like on days when I knew I had photography class scheduled, I genuinely would feel so sick just from the sheer dread. Marley, I'm trying to do a voiceover. Thank you. Sorry, she sat right next to me. She might be a little bit loud. But it took a while for me to be able to sort of separate the actual joy of photography from that really stifling classroom, because it's so difficult when you have something that you genuinely enjoy and then someone or something out of your control sucks all of the joy out of it. And that's what photography did for me, in that outside the classroom and whenever I went out with my grandpa and did photo shoots, I had the time of my life. I absolutely loved it. I loved just me and my camera photographing what I liked and controlling all the settings. And then as soon as I walked into the classroom, I would have this pit in my stomach. I would feel sick. I used to genuinely feel almost depressed in the idea of just walking into that classroom, having all my ideas squashed down, and just, oh, it was so awful. So it took a while for me to be able to separate that from what I actually love about photography. And it takes a lot, I think, to be able to change your mindset of something that has been drastically altered for you. But I did learn, obviously, to love it again. Otherwise, I wouldn't have started this photography YouTube channel. I wouldn't have carried on pursuing photography as a hobby after finishing school. But we learn and we grow. I think for me, the main point I had to take was I had to learn that not everything was surrounded by my expectations in the class. You know, like not everything was relevant to what I had to do on the curriculum and what I needed to get a good grade. I just needed to have the mentality of I'm the one in control here and nobody can take away photography for me, as you know, unless I let them, because teachers and goodness knows what else can say what they like, can do what they like, but at the end of the day, you're only in school for a certain amount of time and then it's gone, you know. And now I have full control over my photography, and it genuinely is what I needed. I needed that push just to be like, you know what, screw this, I'm still going to let myself enjoy the thing that I love. We've moved locations again. I wanted to get a little bit closer to the trees again and all the shadows, because apparently I can't stay away from the shadows. But I've also gotten a couple really nice photos of the sort of, there's very few of them, but there are daisies and dandelions in the grass. So I was able to sort of capture those as well, which I was quite happy with. Oh, there's a pink tree in the distance. Probably in someone's garden, but that's a shot. I'll get that. But yeah, I have sort of been liking this area. I've not moved very far, right? Like I've only stayed in one half of this park, but I've already gotten 42 images. But again, that's just me snapping away. I have no self-control in terms of, you know, actually deliberately choosing a specific scene and photographing that once. I'm just like, let me take photos of everything and then whittle it down later. That's just how I roll. But what I'm going to do is actually take a couple of photos of these trees, but close up. There's one like right next to me here. I thought a bug just landed on my hand. It didn't. We're good. And I think, I don't know how much more I want to photograph, because I really like just sort of the simplicity of a lot of the images I've got so far. And I'm also on a time limit. I don't know if I mentioned that. I have some place I need to be at 3. And I actually don't even know what the time is right now, and I can't check because we're using my phone, but I'm pretty sure it's getting closer to 3 because I need to be in my car at a certain time. I've got my keys in my bag, so if I don't have time to go home, I will just literally get in the car and go. Also, my necklace is back to front. How long has it been like that? Oh well. I'm going to take a couple more shots. That pink tree over there, I think it's a blossom tree. I'm going to take a photo of that. There's also some sort of like metallic structure over there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I feel like a lot of people will know what it is. One of those things that I just don't have knowledge of. And there's also a like kiddie park literally right behind me. And there are no kids here because it's school time. They would all be at school right now. So I know this was a nature shoot, but I mean, if I can get a couple of photos of that, why not? Am I right? I'm not going to like miss out on a photograph opportunity just because it doesn't fit the theme. It's the theme I chose. I'm going to still photograph it. I'm going to photograph whatever I like. I don't know why I'm creating an argument. I don't think anyone's going to be opposed to me taking an extra photo of something that isn't in the theme. Anyway, I'm rattling on. Let's go take a couple more shots. These were the trees I was talking about in terms of the ones that were all in a row. This is obviously just a different angle. So I wanted to capture some photographs of those. There I am. and also wanted to sort of talk about my plans in terms of what I want to do with my photography, because I can't see myself making a full career out of being a photographer in terms of, say, having a niche like being a wedding photographer and photographing weddings for other people, because I enjoy the creativity of my photography so much that I genuinely think I would really despise it if I then had to conform myself to what other people want in my photos. So if I ever make money out of my photography, it will likely just be selling my prints that I have and letting people have the photographs that I take because they like it. You know, like I don't want to try to appeal to certain people because of the photos. And I mean, if I'm being honest, my main goal is just to do something with this YouTube channel in terms of turn this into a career one day, which would be amazing. But I know that's going to take a lot of work and it's going to take a lot of time. And so I'm also not trying to rush myself. I'm trying to let myself enjoy the fact that I have the freedom over my photography and that I'm able to express myself in such a way. And I'm honestly really grateful for that. I am so lucky to be able to just let myself enjoy photography as it is, photograph what I like, what I find interesting, what I find beautiful, what I find appealing to the eye. And I don't know, if people would like me to start selling prints, I will. But honestly, I'm not trying to force myself to do anything with my photography that I don't want to do. I'm directly facing the sun right now, which maybe isn't a very smart choice. I don't have sunglasses. But I don't know if you can see behind me that there are quite a few hills. I live in quite a hilly area. And I'm going to take a couple shots of those as well, because while they're more like long distance and it's going to be a bit more of like a landscape, it's still nature, you know? And I don't know, I think it'd be a really nice shot overall. And then I think I'm going to start wrapping it up. I'm going to actually take a couple shots, wander around a little bit more, and then check back in with you guys once I've achieved that. So let's get out the sun because I think it hates me and wants me to go blind. Here I was taking the shots of the hills, but this is the last voiceover section, and I just sort of wanted to end out all my thoughts with just saying that even if you're not a photographer yourself, it's so important to have your creative freedom, have your creative outlets, and that's what photography is for me. I say it's a form of therapy in terms of it's a chance for me to just let all my feelings out with my camera. All right, I've made it to a good sort of ending point. I'm sitting on something. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but I know it holds water. It's like a rock, but there's water underneath. There's like a little grate here. I don't know if you can hear the water rushing, but it's right next to me and it's quite loud. But oh well. We move forward, we keep rolling. I was just looking through my camera and I have 60 images on my SD card. I don't know if you guys can see that. The sun's quite bright, so it's making everything on the screen just reflective and black and you can't see anything, which is quite fun. But yeah, I am at a pretty good stopping point. I'm quite happy with the photos I've got. I have no idea what this video is going to turn out like, because I'm here fully depending on my future self to actually have something cohesive to put together with the clips that I've taken while here. And I don't know, because I mean, it's like I'm depending on future Georgia, who is depending on past Georgia, while she is present Georgia trying to make something for future Georgia to upload. And you guys will be watching past Georgia try to do all this with the other Georgias. Does that make sense? I've been trying to wrap my head around it. I really don't know how this video is going to turn out. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't even know if it's going to be good, but it's a video I wanted to make. And at the end of the day, I think that's what my channel is for. It's more so for me to put my photography out there and just to sort of have an outlet where I can pursue myself creatively. I can sort of be my own independent boss. You know, I control what goes on, and that was what was important for me. So
this is the video I had planned, so it's the video I'm putting out. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this sort of very different video for me. I know that it wasn't overly photography central. Like, if you're here just for the fully informative, this is the shoot I'm taking and these are the settings I'm using, then I don't know what to tell you. This might not be your cup of tea. But yeah, I'm quite happy with, well, on my part, I'm quite happy with what I've done. I'm sure editing Georgia will be happy with what she's done. I'm sure future Georgia will be happy with what she's edited. You know, yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with the gallery wall of the photos I've taken on this shoot, and obviously they're gonna have all the settings. So if you're here for the photos, I will feed you the photos. Don't worry. But this was fun. I really enjoyed coming out in the sun. I mean, you know, I think every person in England at the moment is like, oh, the sun, what a miracle. So that was another thing. I was like, I'm going to make the most of it, take advantage of it. I mumbled 2 sentences together there. But yeah, I am very happy with the images that I have taken. I haven't whittled them down yet. I don't know how many I'm going to end up with, but yeah, they're good. It's a mixture of, you know, all the nature with the shadows and the lighting, and then a couple little sprinkle of man-made objects in there as well. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. I really don't know which order to put those in every time I say it. You know what to do at this point, all the usual YouTube stuff. And, you know, if you've enjoyed this video, please let me know. Let me know any other video ideas that you might want to see, because I mean, while I'm steering the ship, you know, you're all my passengers. I want to keep you entertained. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.